Welcome back to another Arcade Fix. Today we're again looking at our Capcom Bowling. We have a couple little problems we need to solve with it. The first one is we're missing sounds on the board. All the sounds that have to do with the bowling pins being knocked over. So let me demonstrate first what we are missing. Yeah, let me go ahead and start a game. Well, put a credit on. All right, and let's roll a ball here. As you can see, there's no sound effects for the bowling pins crashing. So yeah, that's a problem. All right, let's cut it off. Cut it back on. And we'll go into the test mode. And let's go down to sound system. Okay, and here's all the sounds that it makes. If we hit the button here, it's the theme music. And as you can see, we're missing the slow hit. It just gives static. The medium hit, fast hit, and of course the other sound effects are here. Until we get down to the sharp hit, same thing. Up top there again in the middle, the light hit, some pins, few pins, and then we have everything until let's see. I think there's one more, but no, I think the rest are there. Basically, it's all the sounds that are created for the bowling pins, the strike sounds. Why is this? Well, I got looking, and of course we got this plugged in to the Team Play harness, which is for the Centipede, Millipede, Missile Command, and Let's Go Bowling board. Okay, that board, if we look at the JAMMA pinout, up here, pin 1 and pin A, we got ground, pin 2 is ground, pin 3 is plus 5 volt, pin 4 is plus 5 volt. Pin 5 and E have no connection. Okay, and then pin 6 and F are 12 volt DC. Well, that pin 5 and pin E is where you're supposed to have negative 5 volts. Okay, so if we look at the JAMMA pinout for Capcom Bowling, we can look right here on E and pin, well, E is minus 5 volts. So that board requires minus 5 volts, and we do not have minus 5 volts. So I'm thinking that's why sound isn't working. So what we're going to do today, we're going to fix that problem. We are going to have to, because the JAMMA harness for the Team Play JAMMA connector doesn't even have, they didn't populate the minus 5 pins. So we're going to have to add the pins to the JAMMA harness. So what do we need to do that? Well, first we need some JAMMA pins. And I have a bunch of them here that I bought probably from Arcade Parts and Repair. I don't remember exactly, but you can get these from Arcade Parts and Repair. Mike's Arcade sells them, and Arcade Shop has them. And what they are, they're called split pins for .156 edge connectors. And we're going to need 2 of these. Plus we're going to need some wire, hookup wire. I'm going to use purple. -5 is normally yellow, but since I'd already wired this power supply up -5 with purple, we're just going to go with purple. And we're also going to need one of these connectors, which is for the power plug. Like I say, when I made this 9-pin power plug right here, it's a JAMMA standard, and the end from the power supply to this end of the plug has -5 volts. But on the other end, it's blank because this particular harness didn't use 5 volts. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have to put a pin in this 9-pin connector with the purple wires, and they're going to have to go to the JAMMA connector. So anyway, that's what we're going to do right now. So let me set up for that, and I'll show you the process. Real simple, real easy to do. So let's get started. Okay, first thing we need to do is get these game boards out the way. So we'll just unplug them and set them out the way. Okay. All right, now we're gonna unplug our power connector here. And untangle some things here. All right, I'm going to take and cut these tie wraps loose here because we're going to have to add these wires in here. Okay, and the wire is going to be right in between the red and the orange right here. That's where the -5 goes. And we're just going to run it up to this plug right here, which will go into this position right there. Okay, so we're not going to need a very long piece of wire. I'm going to put a pin in both sides. You really only need one on this particular board, but I'm going to go ahead and put them in both. So let me cut off a piece of wire here, which is too much, but we'll cut it down. Now I'm going to need my wire strippers. And we're going to strip this down so that we can put that pin in there. So right now I'm just going to keep the wire together and just going to strip off enough so that we can put it in this connector right here, which is going in that 9-pin power plug. So we'll just cut this off here. I'd rather have these pins already separated, but sometimes you buy them and they come in a line like this, and they're hard to cut off sometimes. All right, I think that'll do it. Now I need a crimper here. Going to load it up into the crimper. Okay, now we're going to take our wires here and we're going to put these together because both of these wires are going to go to the same pin on that 9-pin plug. So we're going to have to try to get both of them in here. Okay, and let's crimp it down. And then we'll crimp the insulator part. And that doesn't always look too good. And there we go. Now we got the power end. So let's look again to make sure we get it in the right place. This plugs in this way. Our purple wire is right here, so we need to put it in this end. So we'll just push it in. It clicks in place. And we got that end taken care of. Now, oh, I hope I made it long. Just did make it long enough. How about that? All right, let's go ahead and just cut it evenly. All right, now we're going to strip the wire off the end of these. This one needs a little more. All right, now we're going to take two of these and we'll load them up in our crimpers. And insert the wire. Crimp it down. Crimp the insulator in. And that one is done. Same thing to the other wire here. Okay, load that up. Take our wire. Crimp it. Crimp the insulated side. Okay, now we got two split pin edge connectors on there. All right, let me zoom you in here. Okay, these are going to go on both sides of right here because the first two on a jammer harness are grounds, and then you have your positive 5 volt, then you have your negative 5 volt and then you have your 12 volt. So what we need to do now is take these and plug them in. Okay, didn't quite go in. Need to push them in until they click. Sometimes they're a little difficult. There it goes. Now we're going to flip it over. And we're going to put in the other side. If it cooperates here. Which is opposite from the side we just put it in. Right between the red and the orange. All right. There we have it. 2 new edge connectors with -5 volts. Okay. Let me find my tie straps and we'll tie strap this up. And then we'll plug it back in and hook it up and see if we got working sounds. Okay, got a cable strap here. Let's go ahead and tie these loose cables up. Clip them off. Okay. Plug our power plug back up. And in case you're wondering, when I made my adapter here for this board, which all this adapter does is just change the wiring for the trackball, because the trackball is wired different for Capcom Bowling as opposed to the Team Play board. But when I made the jumpers right here, where you see that little green slash right there, that's for the -5. So I did include the -5 on my adapter here, so that's already done. So all we got to do now is plug this back in. I think we're all ready. Cross the fingers and fire it back up. And here it comes. That tube still might be a little on the weak side, but it looks okay once it warms up. In a video here shortly, I may put it on the tester and tube tester, and we'll see what the condition really is. But it's doing good. It'll be okay. All right. Well, let's, shall we go into the test menu or just play a game? Let's go ahead and just coin up a game. Whoa, that's different. So we do have our pen sounds. All right, well, let's go ahead and start a game. And let's see what it does now. By golly, I believe we got a sound back. Okay. See if I can pick up the, what do you call it, a spare? No. Oh well. Now I'm assuming all these settings are on default, so it's probably set up easy. It's just a lot easier playing a game like this when it's in a cabinet, obviously. But, shucks, ran out of time. Or I went over the line, one of the two. All right, strike. All right, let's see if I can pick up that spare. There we go. Of course, I'm not using the curve, the hook shot. I could use the hook, but yeah, we just, I ran over delay. I'm just going straight in. Whoa, that was a bad one. Of course, I'm not looking directly at the screen either. I'm over to the side. So that adds a little level of difficulty to it. Oh, missed it. Okay, well, you get the idea. If you have a JAMMA cabinet and you put Capcom Bowling in it, you got to make sure that your JAMMA cabinet is wired for -5 volts, or you're going to be missing the sounds. Now, you would think that all JAMMA cabinets would have -5 volts already hooked up, because it is a JAMMA standard. But my sit-down candy cabinets, neither one of them had -5 volts hooked up. The power supply had -5 volts, but the JAMMA harness did not have the pin in it or the wires. And I had to do the same thing that we just did to this JAMMA harness here. Now, this one is the Team Play harness. The Team Play board didn't use -5s, therefore that's why it didn't have it. Manufacturers are going to cut cost and save money any way they can, and if they can get by with 2 less wires and 2 less pins, that saves them a lot of money, believe it or not. And the bottom line in a business is to save money so they can make more money. But if you're doing a JAMMA game from scratch, or you're doing a conversion cabinet and you want to use a JAMMA harness instead of proprietary harness for the game, make sure you buy one that has all the, they could call it a complete JAMMA harness, where all the pins are populated with the wires already in it. You can find them. They're a little more expensive, but they're usually better quality, and you won't have to do this. But if you already have a JAMMA harness and some of the wires are not populated that you need, Well, just do what I just did. Just get you some of those pins, some wire, crimper, and you're in business. So there you go. This has just been a quick little arcade fix. And I know a lot of you people that's been in the hobby for a long time, this is nothing new to you. But this is for the new people that's getting into the hobby, or the people that maybe is a collector, but they're not into fixing their own games. And they want to get into fixing the games and learn a little more about the ins and outs of, you know, what you have to do if you're going to really get into this hobby from this type of level. So I just decided to show this for those of you who, you know, have never done this before. And hopefully now you'll be able to do it yourself. You'll know what to look for. And yeah. So okay, well, it's just been another little arcade fix. Have you had your arcade fix today?